What a session. Incredible session. I think if you're an F1 fan, that was exciting. A casual fan may not find that exciting, but that was a lot more than I thought it would be. And I think that's really due to the fact that, first of all, Leclerc's just making history. So he's the fourth driver. He's the first driver since Schumacher to have 4 straight poles. That's incredible. The guy can drive on a Saturday. That's a fact. I really don't think no matter what car you in, he did really well last year in the Alpha. So he looks almost unbeatable, honestly. But I think there's an interesting dynamic with Vettel in third. And so let's go through the grid really quick. We see so we've got Leclerc in first, and I'll post a blog below. But really quick, if you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe. I'll be giving you these very fast in terms of their cadence and the proximity to the actual end of the actual sessions themselves. So I'll be sending these out to you so you're all caught up, you're ready to go. Depending on where you are in the world, you always have this bit of information. And now I've got the blog going, so you've got all the data too. So make sure to check out the blog below. The site's always developing and changing, but I for sure have the data all up to date, correct, and ready to go. So anyways, the table looks like this. You've got Leclerc P1, Hamilton P2, Vettel in P3. Vettel really had some troubles in Q1, so getting out at a certain point was a big positive. You got Verstappen P4. He'll start P9. His five place grid penalty due to the engine change, and they'll have all totally fresh, updated Spec 4 engines for Suzuka. But already the changes they have look really, really good. So you got Verstappen P4 will start P9, Valtteri P5. And in the qualifying session, you had P6, Carlos Sainz, Nico Hulkenberg driving like a man, driving for his career. So really good race from him. Lando in an impressive, that's a good spot for him in the McLaren. He continued to increase his pace. Romain Grosjean in P9 and Ricciardo P10. It's a shame. I thought both Haas would be in the actual final Q3, which they didn't make it. And usually Magnussen is the one with the killer instinct when it comes to qualifying. So ironically, you've got Grosjean there, but it does have really good one-lap pace. I just hope they can figure out, how to get race pace going. But either way, that rounds out the 10. I'll leave the table here. I won't read off everyone. You can read it. You can see it. So let's actually just quickly talk about a couple of things. So the first one being Vettel is in a really, really interesting spot because, the Ferraris were leading all sessions. Like I said, Vettel had issues. He had to deal with the Robert Kubica spin in Q1. That got in the way of him actually getting his time. And then he had an error in Q1 which stopped him from getting his time. He had the Robert Kubica spin which impeded him a second time, and he had it yellow flag the session. He had a red flag session from Alex Albon, who spun and hit the wall pretty hard, who we'll get to, but it's not looking good for Albon, and I think the nerves might officially be getting to him. Not to say he can't turn it around, but Vettel was impeded and had an error, but he's got a yellow flag, a red flag, and he just struggled in Q1, but came back, got it together, threw on the softs, led. That's why he led the first qualifying session, but from there, it's all Leclerc. And really, the guy just looks unbeatable. He can drive on a Saturday, that's for sure, and he takes that top spot, and he gets pipped. Vettel gets pipped by Hamilton, typical Hamilton, puts a lap together that's unbelievable. And why I think this is super fascinating and a really good spot for Vettel is because he's in the good part of the track. He's starting in position 3, 1 and 3, depending on where you are on the track. Those odd numbers are the better parts of this start. When you think about how long this straightaway is, think about the top end speed and just the positive nature, or just the advantage that the Ferraris have. And Lewis Hamilton talked about this in his interview, but think about the advantage the Ferraris have, and then also think about the fact that that's basically 2 laps around a track. Turn 3, it's 800 meter turn, 750 meter turn, longest on the schedule. That's gonna pose a massive benefit for Vettel, who's already going to have a better pace than the Mercedes in front of him. He's going to be able to grab that toe. Leclerc in any other situation, if it wasn't Vettel behind Hamilton, if it wasn't Vettel in P3, Leclerc would run away because he's got obviously the fastest car. only matched by Vettel. Vettel, if he was P2, I still think it might be a little bit interesting, but he's going to be able to grab the slipstream from Hamilton on that long straight. It's a very long way to the first turn. Then he's got that big, giant, swooping lefty, and I seriously think he's going to be able to slingshot up his way through there. So I'm not saying he'll take that position, but I think it's going to pose a very fascinating start to the race. All the races have their own drama in the beginning, but this one, I would say, do not miss those first 4 corners. They're going to be unbelievable. The first lap, and a lot of people have complained, myself totally included, I'm guilty of this, of Russia being so boring. It is. It's a lot of management. It's a lot of tire management, and there's so many it's a 50% full throttle use course. I've gone through it in the blog, and I've talked about the aerodynamics of the course, but it's not particularly conducive to overtaking. But this race is going to be different because you've got a different kind of battle in the midfield. You've got dynamics that weren't there, and I think this is, in terms of the season, this is a different kind of F1 season. You've got Hülkenberg, who is an absolute veteran, driving for his life. Look at his lap time. So you've got Kimi, who I still thought would be best of the rest. I'm wrong, or he's going to put in a lap of his life. But, from someone who knows his track so well and drives pretty well here, I still think he's got some fighting to do. He didn't make it even out of Q3, so he's got to fight through the pack. Max has to fight through the pack. This is not going to be your typical race where everyone just sits back. Everyone's going to be fighting, and you're saying to yourself, yeah, Nuke, everyone always. No, I think this is going to be different, and I think anyone who watches F1, and if you're watching this video, you probably know what I'm saying. So everyone's got something to prove, as always, but Vettel, definitely something to prove more than he's ever had before in this defensive position on his back foot. So, and I think Lewis Hamilton feels the pressure. It's not even like, is Ferrari quick anymore? I think he's accepted it. And looking at all the things he said lately, I think that's pretty much a given. So, all in all, qualifying session was incredible. If you want to see the qualifying notes, again, I'll put the blog below. It links to the practice session below. So between the videos and the written content I made for you guys, you should be good to go walking into this race. Anyone asks you a question, you should be able to answer and talk about anything. So I appreciate you checking out this content. I'm going to leave it there because I think it really does speak for itself. Leclerc making history. At this point, I'm rooting for the guy. I really do think, I try not to do that. I try to be objective, but I think it's nice to see, I've said it a few times, I think it's nice to see Lewis Hamilton get his elbows out. And I think he's going to have to tomorrow, and I couldn't be more excited about something. So let me know what you think below. Who's going to win? Who's going to win? I'm still sticking with, you know what, I'm a stubborn guy. I'm going to stick with my original, and I'm going to say it's going to be a 1-2 Ferrari, but it's going to be Vettel, Leclerc. I think there is a much different tire strategy at play. Lewis Hamilton's going to be on the hards to start, so I think he's going to get left in the dust personally. So if I was a betting man, it's probably going to be Leclerc, Vettel, but I'm going to be stubborn and say officially I'm sticking with Vettel, Leclerc. He'll catch the toe, and with Vettel being P2, that does introduce another really awkward situation for Ferrari, team orders, strategy. I just think not everyone can be on a winning strategy, so this will be weird. But as a fan, I endorse it. I think it's going to be incredible, and let me know what you think below. Who's going to win? But the midfield battle, if you have F1 TV, I would definitely be on the lookout. I would definitely be following around people like Carlos Sainz, who just an unbelievable weekend. And the guy, after coming into the race thinking it was going to be a big nothing burger from McLaren, just an unbelievable weekend so far. P6, they're switching to the Mercedes engine in 2021, so it's just got a really bright future, and I'm sure McLaren's going to want to hold on to him, especially after tomorrow if he puts in some really good lap times. But let me know you think's going to win below. Thanks for checking this out. Subscribe if you're new, and I will be making some more just random content throughout the weekend, talking through maybe some of the aerodynamics and some of the projections based on who wins and stuff like that. But I'll be making some bonus content like I always do. So I'll see you guys soon.